Welcome to my madness once again, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be taking a look at this Superboy figure from Mcfarlane, DC Multiverse. Superboy, Kon-El, Connor, whatever you want to call him. This, of course, is the clone Superboy from the 90s reign of the Superman storyline, right after the death of Superman, as an old school, and by old school I mean going back to the early 80s, Superman fan, and, you know, being heavily into comics for about 15 years after that. This storyline was a big deal when I was reading at the time, and I really liked it, and I liked the character of Superboy. So, you know, it's kind of no-brainer for me to pick this guy up, and here we have him. Now, real quick, as far as accessories go, this guy comes with nothing, not even spare hands, okay? He does come with the obligatory stand and card, which I don't even take out of the package anymore before I throw them away, because I just don't care about those things. So we just have the figure, and we'll start with the bad first. And it's not bad, it's not horrible, let me get that out of the way, but it's not 100% accurate. Namely, the jacket, and that's kind of disappointing because, I mean, they had to create a new jacket for this figure. This is not anything that's been reproduced from another figure. It's not reuse at all. So if they were going to go to the trouble of creating a jacket for this character, why didn't they create it accurately? The jacket that he wore in the comics, the jacket that's even on the package of this figure, is clearly a very different type of jacket. It's more a traditional biker jacket with the collars and cuffs and everything. Yes, it's black. Yes, it has the spikes, but that's really where the similarities end. And considering that's such a visually important part of this character, it's kind of disappointing that they didn't even get the jacket right. The other thing that's not perfect on this is the hair. This looks almost like Nightwing hair sculpt, more so than a Superboy hair sculpt. So, again, kind of disappointing, especially since I don't think this is reused from anything, since a Nightwing hair sculpt would come all the way down, whereas clearly they have cut this off there. So, again, we're talking about two new pieces created specifically for this character that they got wrong. Now, that's the negative. The positive is that 90% of this character is accurate, and honestly, it's a pretty damn good figure. I mean, it really is. The sculpt on this thing looks fantastic. It's very well done. There's not a lot of paint here. Most of it is molded plastic, but what is painted is also very well done, like that nice crisp Superman logo there. We've got the logo there on the arm there. The chest logo looks good. The paint on the belt. We've got the straps there. I mean, everything looks really, really good, even if it is not 100% accurate. Face sculpt also looks really good, albeit he does look older than Superboy from this era and this look should be, because at this point, this is supposed to be roughly like a 16-year-old Clark Kent. And he's a clone. Okay, and he should be roughly about 16 years old, give or take, okay? And this looks like a full-grown adult, and so that is also something that might kind of be a deal breaker for some of you guys out there. But as a figure, it's well done. And as far as articulation goes, standard Mcfarlane stuff, and even the jacket itself is not hindering at all. You still get lots of movement because the jacket is soft and pliable. So that doesn't hinder anything. And other than that, as I said, it is standard Mcfarlane stuff. So you really know what you're getting into here with something like this. So all in all, sculpt's good, paint's good, articulation is good, even if the character representation isn't 100% accurate. So all in all, I don't have a lot to complain about, but there are still a couple of complaints. So let's go ahead, throw this guy up with some other figures and see how he stacks up. All right, so a couple comparisons here to the current Superboy, Jonathan Kent, and of course his dad, Superman, Kal-El, Clark Kent, in his black suit from, I believe this is the Superman and Lois run in the comics, both of which I have tweaked a little bit by adding capes to them. But I think this Connor, this Superboy, does look good between these two, although I have to go back to one of my earlier complaints, which is that he looks too old. And in this case, he's too tall. He shouldn't be taller than Jonathan Kent here. In fact, he might even should be a little bit shorter than him. And of course, he's considerably taller. Fortunately, he's not taller than the full-grown adult Kal-El here. But still, I think he is too tall. And again, this is supposed to be like a 16-year-old kid at this point, who also, by the way, isn't 100% Clark Kent as far as being a clone. So, you know, he's a shorter guy. And so, yeah, that does kind of bug me, I gotta be honest. But just as far as a figure goes, he does look good here. All right, now to compare to some other 7-inch scale DC figures out there, we got a couple of DC Collectibles Essentials, which is my favorite DC line of figures out right now, or was out. We occasionally get new figures from them. Sorry, Mcfarlane, but I just really like their figures. And of course, we got Black Suited Superman and Cyborg Superman. Now, I will say just right off the bat, this Cyborg Superman, even for the line he is in, is too short. I mean, you can see here, this Black Suited Superman is taller than the Cyborg Superman when they should at least be the same height. Now, Mcfarlane stuff, while it is 7-inch scale, just like this DC Collectibles Essentials, tends to skew a little bit bigger, while DC Collectibles Essentials tends to skew much more accurately at 7-inch. So it's gonna look bigger, but because of the fact that this Superboy should be a smaller figure anyway, he shouldn't be taller than these guys. Maybe the same height as our Cyborg Superman there. Maybe even a little bit shorter, because again, he's supposed to be a kid, and yet he clearly is not. And again, I understand there are differences in these two lines, but still, it's kind of annoying. But this gives you an idea of what he would look like if you tried to put him into a line of other DC figures. All right, so let's talk price here real quick, and this guy goes for $25. Is it worth it? The question is really whether or not you're a big fan of either just everything Superman or specifically the Reign of Superman storyline. If you are a fan of either or both of those, then yes, it's definitely worth it. If you're not really. I mean, you're talking about a dude who doesn't even come with an extra set of hands. He's not 100% accurate. He's too big for the character, looks too old for the character. Like, and it's a good figure, but it's not a great figure. And I think that's kind of what it comes down to. So, again, as I say many, many times, it's personal preference, guys. Look, I mean, I'm glad I picked him up. I'm going to be happy to add him to my shelf, to my collection, but you know, I can certainly understand why people would want to pass on this. Absolutely, without a doubt, you know, you're not going to disappoint me if this is one you easily want to pass on, because there's nothing really that stands out about this figure other than the fact that it's not 100% accurate, and that will certainly annoy some people. So there you go, guys. Look, as I said, I mean, I'm glad I picked him up. I got him on sale when the Mcfarlane Toy Store was having an online sale, so I did not pay full price for him. So I'm okay with picking him up at a discounted price, but, you know, that's kind of where it ends for me. So would love to hear what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you have this guy? Do you want this guy? If you've got him, what do you think of him? And do these inaccuracies in the character annoy you like they do me? Let me know in the comment section down below. So thank you guys for watching, and always remember to enjoy your collection.